Good. Yeah. Hello, guys. Nice to meet you. Today I will tell about the modern DDoS threats and defense strategies against the DDoS attacks. I'm Łukasz Karwacki. I'm from Poland. I have quite a wide range of experience from forensic to WAF to DDoS. I will tell today about firstly about the modern threat landscape overview, DDoS best practices, protection models and deployment options, and of course about the future trends, predictions, what will happen in the future based on the knowledge that we have today. So, going first with the modern threats landscape overview. What we can see is that the DDoS attacks size of them is growing year by year, and also the amount of them and also the bandwidth that we are receiving in the DDoS attack is growing. What it means? It means that if for example, last year we had the DDoS attacks, they were around, for example, 1 terabit per second. Currently, we notice that this is 1.5 terabit per second. What this means for the most of the companies? It means that if your infrastructure was, okay, dealing with the DDoS attacks 2 years ago, 3 years ago, currently your infrastructure, due to the DDoS attack, it will suffer. Due to that, most of the companies, if the infrastructure is fine for now, they just leave it. They just will leave it until the first failure. And that's true. Everyone will agree with that. What it means, companies need to always react. If they see the increase in the DDoS attack size, maybe there needs some changes in the infrastructure. What we notice is that the amount of the DDoS attack is increasing. What it means? It means more and more companies are receiving DDoS attacks. More and more DDoS attacks means that there is more and more risk related to that. In such case, when, for example, we had the one company that was receiving DDoS attacks 1 per week, currently, maybe they are receiving few attacks per week. Soon, it could be like 1 attack per few hours. We are going in the very cruel future that DDoS attacks there will be constant on a lot of companies. If you have like the financial services, healthcare, other companies that they are somewhere between, I'm more than sure that if you are not receiving DDoS attacks, you will start receiving them in the future, in very near future. If you start being very, let's say, very well known on the market, I'm more than sure that soon you will start receiving the DDoS attacks. That's how it looks like. What about the modern trends? Currently, what we notice is that mostly the companies that they are receiving the DDoS attacks and they are the target of the attackers, they are the companies that need to proceed the data in the real time. What it means? In such case, we can say that financial systems, they need to proceed the data in the real time. It means that if you are want to pay with the credit card, the data transfer is in near real time. If we have interruption here, companies won't be able to, for example, pay for something. If you are the normal customer, you won't be able to pay, for example, for the coffee or for the breakfast. That could be a problem. In these companies, we have also the technology, financial, and gaming. If you are playing a game, you have the game server. Players don't like to have issues with the ping-related things. If you are a technology company, if you are, for example, chatting with the ChatGPT, that everyone is doing currently. If you are sending the question to the ChatGPT, in such case, you will get, for example, delay in the response. Maybe ChatGPT will respond in the badly way due to that some delay. Due to that, there will be a DDoS attack that will be passing and it will be impacting the infrastructure. What about the attack distribution? We notice that mostly customers are receiving attacks related to the UDP flood. Why? Because it's the most cheapest, it's very easy to perform. The complexity of this attack is very simple. You just need to send the UDP flood and that's all. There is no complexity. These attacks are related to the layer 3, layer 4, so it's super simple to attackers to send a lot of requests with very low cost. And in case that you are not having any DDoS protection, I'm more than sure that your server will be down. If you have good server, it can take, say, 10 gigabit per second of the traffic. With the UDP flood attacks, with the very low cost, effective way from the attacker's point of view, you can send 50 gigabit per second, and let's say 99% of the servers will just go down due to that. The cost of the attack is very, very low. The effectiveness without the DDoS protection, super high. Later on, we have the TCP attacks. These are attacks related to the TCP protocol. They are a bit more complex, require a bit more, let's say, the power. And with the TCP protocol, you are not able to send the attack with the same volume like you will be able to send with the, let's say, the UDP. Going further, DDoS protection best practices. At Gcore, we have a lot of filtering capacity. We have total more than 180 POPs on the worldwide. We have a lot of DDoS attacks. We are mitigating each DDoS attack each 3 minutes. So each 3 minutes, there is like a DDoS attack that is mitigated by us. We have a lot of cloud data centers, so we are able to provide also the cloud DDoS protection. So something that everyone is like looking currently for it. Capacity challenge problem in the DDoS protection. Let's say that you develop the time machine. Go to the future, 200 years. You just get the best DDoS protection. You come back. You just install this DDoS protection in your data center, but your, let's say, your link to your data center is 10 gig. Great, you have the best DDoS protection from the future, but the link to your servers is like only 10 gigabit per second. What it means? If we will get the DDoS attack 50 gigabit per second, the link is down, and your DDoS protection won't even work because the DDoS attack just overloaded the link that is going to your data centers, going to your servers. What it means that if you can have like the best DDoS protection, but you don't have the capabilities to deal with the DDoS attack, you don't have the capacity, you can do anything with it. That's why you need you need the capacity to deal with the DDoS attacks. Monitoring K to DDoS defense. Why? Because you can protect something that you can see. That everyone will agree that you need to see what do you want to protect. If you don't see the traffic, if you don't see the patterns, if you don't see the target, maybe you have already some rules in place. But in case that you can see the traffic attack, the attack pattern, something that will change during the DDoS attack, you don't have the visibility and you are not able to like react. So you need the accurate checking the traffic, accurate checking the DDoS attack patterns. It allows you to like respond and mitigate, and of course provide some automation here, like apply some specific rules, change something in the rules that you have to provide like some better DDoS protection. Let's speak right now about the local mitigations options. We have the RTBH and FlowSpec. RTBH, good way to like protect your infrastructure. Okay, if we want to protect the infrastructure, that's because we'll just drop the traffic. But RTBH means that we'll drop the good traffic and the bad traffic. We'll drop all the traffic. If we have, for example, the financial system, and we have like some database that we are doing some financial operations there. In case that we have DDoS attack and we see that the traffic is exceeding what our servers can deal with it. It's good to, for example, use the RTBH to just block all the traffic, to just prevent the database being overloaded, the server being taken down. If the infrastructure will be overloaded, the database will be overloaded with the amount of the requests, it means that maybe there will be some mistakes in some calculations. Maybe the infrastructure will going to proceed some requests in the wrong way. We'll have some corrupted data there. So that's the problem that we are facing here. So in such case, it's better to just drop all the traffic, good one and bad one, than to prevent the infrastructure being taken down. FlowSpec. It's a different solution here. It allows us to like perform some more actions and perform some more checks with the traffic. FlowSpec allows us to like rate limit the traffic or block some specific host. It's offering a bit more granular control. With the FlowSpec, for example, we are able to like rate limit part of the traffic that we expect that it can be malicious. We are not quite sure that if this full traffic is like full legitimate, yeah, maybe there is something wrong here. So let's just rate limit it to prevent the malicious traffic reach out our servers. That's a good solution for such cases. We can, of course, for example, use the flow spec and RTBH to just build some more better buffer before the RTBH with the flow spec. Flow spec won't deal quite good with the multi-vector attacks and, of course, with the application layer attacks, because in these cases, okay, we just rate limit the traffic on the layer 3, layer 4, but in case that we don't have the web application firewall, maybe the traffic that will pass to the backend server, there will be some malicious requests related to the layer 7, and maybe someone will be able to like steal our data. In such case, when someone will be able to steal our data from the database, that's a problem. So that's why it's good to like connect the flow spec with RTBH as a like typical something, some kind of the core protection that we can set up. Going further, distributed resilient mitigation. So currently, in current times, due to the amount of the traffic that we are receiving during a DDoS attack, mostly the attack is targeting, for example, one data center. In such case, let's say that we have the one data center in London, taking as an example, and our mitigation capacity in London is like 2 terabit per second. Okay, we can clear everything inside the London to 2 terabit per second. Above 2 terabit per second, it will overload our data center. In such cases, we need to like use the Anycast. We just need to like offload the London to the closest data centers. It allows us to like use the global capabilities, global capacity of all of our data centers to deal with the DDoS attack. It means that if we can connect all of our data centers across the whole world as a one big network, great, it's increasing our capabilities many times. In such case, there is like no DDoS attack on the world that will be able like to take it down our whole infrastructure. What's more, that's only for about the capabilities of the dealing with the DDoS attack. It also provides us the redundancy. It means that if, and of course the failover, in case that one data center will be taken down, physical issues like, for example, power cut in the data center, aggregates are not working, there is no electricity in the data center. Okay, we can just cut down this data center, we can just use other of our network, we can use all of our other data centers to proceed the traffic that should be proceed in this data center. Great, because this provides us the plan for case that the data center. Great for such cases. And of course, what's more, we need real-time monitoring. In such cases, when we use the Anycast, we can also, of course, monitor all the traffic that we are receiving. In case that we need to, for example, offload the devices, offload the data center, because we have the data center in some country, in some location that we don't have the huge capabilities due to like, for example, poor connectivity in place, some local issues. In such case, we have the real-time monitoring of the traffic that we have there, so we can prevent some issues with the data center, but before that, to overload the data center to other location. How we can protect against the TCP attacks? TCP protection. What we can do here? Typical mitigation techniques is like, for example, applying the SYN cookie. SYN cookie allows us to drop the keeping it very simple, dropping the first connection that the user is trying to perform, and in such case, we are sending the data from the server that is the scrubbing center to the attacker. In this case, it could be the normal user, and he needs to resend out this data. It means that if we have the attacker and they're just flooding us with the SYN packets using the TCP protocol, the first connection will be dropped, and this is attacker, this is the scripted attack. He will never respond to us with something that he needs to respond. Okay, great, because in this case we are just covering a TCP protection. But this mitigation technique can be used alone in case that we have, for example, the service, the application that is not able to like resend the data reestablish the connection, because first here the first TCP connection will be just reset. We need to use like other methods, like for example the connection tracking, to just be sure that we are for the legitimate user we are able to like provide the protection. We are not just interrupting the service for all of the people, but only for the attackers. Of course, as for the TCP protection, we can use also the rate limiting. That's one of the way how we can do that. UDP protection. UDP attacks, they are super common. We see that they are like 60-65% of the attacks related to the UDP. They are just mostly the UDP floods. Sending attacks with the UDP protocol is very simple. We can, for example, spoof IP addresses. There is like no limitations for the attackers. And how to protect against such attacks? Mostly typical rate limiting that we can apply. We can check the protocol. In case that we can see that the UDP will have some fragmented parts of the packets that they are sent with the UDP, okay, that's not something legitimate that we expect to have, and we can just drop this. And for the UDP protection, we can use also some anomaly detection. If we can see that, for example, we can use here some AI techniques, we can use some machine learning. In case that we have the normal application that is working fully normally without any interruption for, let's say, a few days. Based on that, we can collect some patterns. That this is the full normal traffic, full normal working of the application, normal operational time for the application. Based on that, we can build some kind of the let's say the datagram that will show us that this is the normal traffic. In case that we can see increase the amount of the traffic, increase the threshold, increase the amount of the traffic above some threshold, it means that, okay, we should just apply some kind of the anomaly detection mechanism to just be sure that the amount of the traffic that we are receiving on some patterns is not the malicious traffic. Based on that, we are allowed to just figure out if this is the normal traffic, this is the malicious one. Based on that, if we can see that some of the application is receiving more and more traffic and this is the malicious one, we can apply some kind of the mechanism there to provide the protection against them, against the attack. And something very interesting, also the XDP for the packet filtering. XDP means that we can apply the regex, regular expressions for the UDP traffic. So we can just check the regex on the UDP traffic to be sure that, okay, each packet that is starting with, for example, 000, this is the legitimate one. All other, we are, for example, dropping. Yeah, we can do that. But this solution is very good. It's working super fine, but there is one key here, the performance issue. Because when you just apply very complex regex, it can be a performance issue. Due to that, always you need to check the pattern, how it looks like, what's the packets at the beginning, for example, or in the middle. It creating performance issues. So you just need to be sure that you know what you are doing. Because with the wrong regex, firstly you can just block the application, and secondly you can just create the performance issue. Application specific protection. What we can see is that using some amplification methods, you can increase the attack size by 20, 50 times, not percent, times, using some amplification methods. For example, sending a DNS request, you are able to increase sending the traffic with the DNS request that is, for example, 1 gig. You can receive the attack size of the 20 up to 50, in some cases even 100 gig. So it means that you are able, using amplification methods, you are able to really increase the attack size. What we can do here? We can of course check some protocols, but we can check here some specific protocol things related. How to provide the protection against the, for example, some application-specific protection. We can apply the countermeasures. We have, for example, dedicated countermeasures for some protocols, like, for example, VPN, email services, gaming, typical other services that we are able to build some dedicated countermeasures, some set of rules that we are able to apply, and based on the patterns that we can see, we can say that this is legitimate traffic, this is the way how the traffic should flow in this case, to be sure that from the beginning to the end, that will be the legitimate user. All other traffic, if this is the botnet, we can just drop it because this is not the path that we say that it should be passed by the traffic to be sure that this is the normal user. What's more? We can use also the AI. This is a very hot topic, to be honest, especially for DDoS protection. Due to that, we can use the AI with some dedicated other tools to provide the protection based on the AI. What it means? AI allows us to, for example, create some very specific rules based on the traffic samples that we have. In such case that, for example, we can apply here the lockdown countermeasure. Lockdown countermeasure, that means that we'll just drop the, we'll just block the traffic for 30 seconds, 1 minute. Due to that, we have time to collect the sample of the traffic for the 1 minute, for 30 seconds, let's say. We are sending this traffic to the AI. We are doing some operations there. From the output, we have some rules that we need to apply, and also we see that we can check if these rules will work. If these rules will work, great, we can apply it. It means that in 1 minute, using the AI, for the 1 minute, we are just blocking the new connections to the server, to the application. But after the 1 minute, we have the fully bulletproof rules for this DDoS attack that happens. That's great. This allows us to dynamic reconfiguration, protecting models and deployment options. We have the two ways, we have the on-demand protection and always-on protection. On-demand, we have the time to mitigate. Here we have this time that we need to spend to the protection need to spend time to start mitigation. For example, here we have the time to just send the traffic from the local scrubbing centers to the cloud one, or doing some other things related to the network. It means that for the on-demand protection, not always we have traffic under the protection. Okay, it's reducing some small latency that could happen due to that the protection is always on. And due to that, okay, maybe this is something that someone is looking for. If we have some services that is crucial, the few milliseconds that will be added due to the always-on protection, it will be crucial for the application. Okay, maybe that could be the option here. For the always-on, we have the protection that is always on. Here we have the real-time mitigation. It means that always the incoming traffic is firstly coming to us. We are just applying the rules, we are cleaning the traffic, and we are sure that the traffic that we are forwarding to the customer is clean. There is no malicious traffic there. Here we have the good approach here, because with the always on, we don't have this time to mitigate. In case that we have the time to mitigate 1 minute, okay, with the 1 minute, the server can be already taken down. With the always on, this is the option that we always recommend, because we have the real-time mitigation. There is no other paths that need to be sent to the traffic to us. On-premise, hybrid, and cloud solution. On-premise, with the on-premise solution, we have the limited possibilities, limited capacity with the local cleaning centers, because we have the local. We can't use the cloud. We can use the hybrid model. So we have, for example, we are limited to the capacity of one data center. Okay, it can be 50 gigabit. It can be 500 gigabit per second, but still we are limited to the local capacity. Hybrid model, it means that we have some on-premise infrastructure and cloud one. So it means that we can just reroute the traffic from the local scrubbing centers to the cloud one, in case that the local capabilities will be exceeded. Cloud-based solution, it means that we always use our cloud, and is effective, super effective against the large-scale massive DDoS attacks, because we always use our cloud solution. So there is no DDoS attack on the world that will be able to fully utilize our cloud capabilities. Trends and predictions. What we can say about the future? Of course, increasing sophistication and detection methods. Using the AI. AI, I think that will be the future of the DDoS protection, also from the defender point of view and also from the attacker point of view. Why? Because with using the AI, we are able to very quickly adapt what we can see. If we're using the AI for the defense and for the attackers, okay, that will be the fight between the two AIs. It means that who will get the better learning. Capacity. Yeah, in case that we can see that the amount of the devices that we are connecting to the internet is increasing, we can see that the DDoS size is also increasing. It means that the capacity, that will be the problem of the future. Distributed architecture. Using distributed architecture, that would be the key for the providing the protection. Everyone needs the lowest latency. It means that we need the distributed architecture also from the redundancy point of view, from the failover point of view. That's why distributed architecture, that would be the key in the future. So, finishing my presentation, currently we can say that the local defense measures, local defense capabilities are mostly not enough for the modern DDoS attacks. Capacity, that will be the key for the DDoS protection, and the cloud-based protections, cloud-based solutions, that will be the future of the DDoS protection. Many thanks